Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. We start our WebEx meeting with Al-Fatiha. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah, we meet again. And inshallah, today I'm going to talk about technological change. One thing that we have to understand, that change is a fact of life. And as the future worker, inshallah, soon after graduation, you are going to work somewhere, or maybe in the company, and as a worker of the future, or as a manager or engineer to be in the future, you have to anticipate change, because that's the reality of life. I think static, almost everything change. Yeah, as for example, like we facing now, COVID-19, for example. Yeah, nobody expect that the situation, something like this, and it's turned out that since last year, yeah, we have PKP and lots of change. The economics change, the political change, yeah, even the as well in our country has changed. The government has changed. Uh, society, and including the way people do works. Yeah. After PKP, since last year, March last year, new business have come out. And what happened to the old one? Some of them became obsolete due to change of the situation, due to PKP, due to COVID-19 situation and so on. And we expect, as a fact of life, change always occur. Okay, so one aspect that normally companies or business or corporate interest to know is technological change. Why? Because it's affect their productivity. Yeah, we know that productivity or technology affect productivity of the business, of the corporate or company. So one concept or one principle that you should understand as the future worker is technological change. I'm sharing with you where is it? The PowerPoint notes. Okay. Okay, this is the lecture note for this week. It's about technological change. Can you see? Good. Okay. The purpose of today's lecture to give you some overview and to understand as well the technological change. Normally, once we talk about technological change, it's involved innovation, invention, uh, technological transition, substitution and replacement. Yeah, that's change. Okay. Uh, Inshallah, today I'll try to cover the interaction between technological change and economic change. Thus, we should understand the importance of understanding of technological change because it's always have impact to the economic changes. And then a few examples of the interaction between technological change and economic change phenomena. Next, innovation and invention, some category or types of innovation and invention, technology transition, and also technical distance, technological substitution and obsolescence. And if we have time, or maybe we can continue in Wednesday, technology life cycle and some aspect of classification and concept of technology. That should be covered by this week. Okay. Uh, this is the uh, figure showing the interaction between technological change and economic change. As you can see here in this diagram or in this figure, T represent uh, changes in technology or technical factors. Yeah, some change in technology and uh, this is showing the effect of technological change to the economic change. Yeah, as you can see here, this is two-way relationship. Yeah, when we are studying relationship or interaction, there's one to many. Like this one is actually many to many, but as a big uh, figure, or it's represent T here represent many technological changes and many technical factors. So we can say this is a one-to-one relationship between technological change and economic change. Yeah. Examples of uh, technical factors such as technical performance. Yeah, change in technical performance. Incrementally, we can see many change occur in mobile telephone or smartphone. For example, the color of the capacity of camera in iPhone keep on improving. So this is, we call it technical performance has been upgrading or change. Yeah. Also, the power, yeah, or the processor has changed as well. So, and how it affect the economics? Yeah, here, one of the economics indicators such as profitability, yeah, market size, that's economic indicator. So, by having a better technology, better technical function or performance has been improved in mobile phones. So, the sale figure or market share and market uh, penetration, yeah, has been improved, and also profitability has been improved, and it's also impact the social and political factor as well. So this is how the interaction or interrelationship between technical change and economic change. And in management of technology, you are studying this process by involving management as the intermediate factor. How to manage, how to overcome, how to deal with the problem. For example, previously we have 32 megapixel, 32 mega ampere of the power in mobile phone. Yeah, and people demand more capacity in terms of power, so they come out with a better battery, 55 mega ampere. So this is the function of management. Yeah, how to deal, how to solve, how to overcome problem. Yeah, in this interrelationship between technicals and economic variables. That's the summary of management of technology, MOT. Yeah? And this include forecasting of technology. Yeah? Inside this management, including forecast. And based on forecasting, you can plan, uh, and planning is part of management. Yeah? You learn basic or principle of management. There's four basic principle of management: planning, organizing, uh, and controlling, including human resource. Planning, organizing, leading, motivating, and also controlling or monitoring. So to have a better planning process, to some extent, you need to have you need to predict the future. You need to foresee or forecast the future. So here, uh, the role of forecasting of technology. Okay, some engineer or from technological aspect or perspective, they have, we call it technocentric view. They said that technology is the major factor behind economics, social and environmental change. Yeah, for example, the introduction of computer or online. So uh, it's have a huge impact in the way people do work in the society and also in the environment and economic, in business and so on. So uh, more or less, uh, yeah, according to this perspective or this view, yeah, technology is the major factors behind economics and environmental change. Okay, next we go to uh, a few examples how this technological change have impact the society, the economy, and also the political of the world. Okay, we start with macro examples. Macro meaning it's a big or it's a huge, it's a national level of example. Uh, in history, uh, there's one huge uh, impact or effect of technological change to the politic of the world. Yeah? The first example is downfall of Soviet system planned economy. Yeah? Previously, during my time, if we look at the map of the world, we can see one of the huge empire was the Soviet Union. Yeah, if you can see of the uh, in the map uh, of the top of the Asian mainland, we can see from the east to the west or from the west to the east. belonged to Soviet Union, and Soviet Union was managed by uh, communism system or plan system or pool economy, we call it. And to some extent, in 1989, Soviet Union was collapsed. Yeah, according to some study, they said the main reason for the downfall of Soviet Union due to inability of the planned economy to generate technical innovation. They pull the money, they have the money, but most of the money has been spent in auto space or space exploration, and it's cost billions. People are suffering. Even in 1989, whereas in other parts of the world, including in Malaysia, in Southeast Asia, and in many parts of the world, in Europe especially, in Korea, Japan, lots of technological developments happen, but not in Soviet Union. Yeah, in 1989 and before 1989. Yeah, even during that time, Malaysia have national car. Proton was introduced before 1985. Yeah, one of the national car of Malaysia, and many other technological development as well. They introduced new product in the market and so on. However, in Soviet Union at that time or before that, not so much innovation or not so much introduction of new products. Even car, they have old car, more or less. They have their own national car, but it's like the old Fiat. Yeah, we still have some. If you the classic old Fiat car, whereas the other parts of the world already come up with aerodynamic design of car and so on. So that's one of the reason of downfall of mega, we call it empire, big empire also collapse due to uh, not not so responsive to the technological change. Okay, another macro example is rise of European community. Yeah. EEC was established sometime 1990s. Yeah, in 1988, 1989, they start the idea, brainstorming the idea of European community. What is meant by EEC? It's a merge of uh, the countries in Europe. Why they need to merge? Though lately we know about Brexit, Britain exit from the EEC. Okay, they start the EEC 1988, 1989. When I was in UK, 1998, we learned about the economic of EEC and so on. That's my first degree. Okay. Um, Actually, the establishment of EEC due to a defensive move, or we call it defensive strategy, because they already foresee that sooner or later they cannot compete the new power. They call it the sun rising countries like Japan, Korea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and so on, China as well, Singapore and Malaysia. Yeah, because those countries from the east, including Japan, Korea, are new developing, or we call it developed technological countries. Yeah, they start come up with a better and many new technology has been introduced from Japan, from Korea. Yeah. That was 1990s. So as a protection or as defensive, yeah, or one of the strategy to compete, yeah, in the technological move by the eastern countries, so they have to merge, otherwise they cannot compete. Yeah? Start with Germany, France, England, or UK, and then joined by many other countries. And then they use uh, a single monetary. Before that, they have a different currency or monetary. And then they use euro dollar or euro money as a single monetary, except for Sweden, uh, Denmark, and Norway. They still use their own monetary, yeah, because they have a stronger currency. Um, and also pound sterling, yeah, British as well maintain their pound sterling till now. They quit from EEC. Okay. According to the history, as we know that these European countries, yeah, before that, before EEC, they were competing among each other. Not only competing, but they are fighting among each other. We know one big war, we call it World War. There was two. There were two World War, World War One and World War Two. Yeah, World War One and World War Two involving these European countries. Why? Because they are competing. They are uh, competing in terms of to have resources, not only in Europe but also in Africa and in Asia. They are fighting among themselves. In Malaysia, which was previously conquered by Dutch, yeah, and then since they have war in Europe between Dutch and English, and yeah, after that war between Dutch and English, they have treaty, so they make change. English get Malaya at that time, or Tanah Melayu, and then uh, British get Batavia, which is a part of Indonesia now. Dutch get Batavia, so they have exchange. Whereas previously, Batavia belonged to English, and New Amsterdam, which is now New York, was belonged to Dutch. Yeah, New Amsterdam previously in America belonged to Dutch. So after that war, they have a treaty and they may exchange. Uh, New Amsterdam has been changed with one place in Southern America, Colombia, and so New Amsterdam changed to New York because York is part of English in northern parts of England. So they named that island New York, yeah? Which was previously New Amsterdam. And uh, Batavia has been exchanged with Malaya. Yeah. So in history, they are conflicting, or they are competing, or they are fighting each other. But then in 1989, they merged together in EEC. Why? Because they want to compete with other nations, or with we call it sun rising nation, including Japan, Korea, China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Singapore as well, because they can predict these countries soon will become uprising suns. They call it uprising sun. Okay. And number three, also macro example, rise of Japan, Korea, and others, including China. And nowadays, China is one of the threatened country in terms of technological to the worlds, to the European. At one time, European country they were at the tops in terms of innovation, come up with a new technology, or new product, or new goods to the society. Yeah, for example, electronic product. Before 1950s, Philips was at the top. Yeah, Philips, but then now we can see at one time Japanese company Sony was at the top and now changed to Samsung, a Korean company, yeah? And many other examples. Okay, micro examples, a few micro examples of technological change. I did mention last week in my lecture about QWERTY. Yeah, if you are interested to know more about QWERTY, you can read from Google. You can just type Google, and there are many explanation about the history of QWERTY. Yes, which has been applied in typewriting. Yeah. One interesting phenomena here we can say is technological lock-in, meaning that once it's entered the market, it's locked the market. Very hard for new technology to substitute or to compete. This is technological lock-in. As example, QWERTY. As we can see now, in smartphone as well, they still apply. For example, you open your WhatsApp. Yeah, you can see here, it's QWERTY. The alphabetical order has been sort or arranged according to QWERTY, not A, B, C to Z. Yeah, because of precision engineering, or sometimes we call it ergonomic interaction between man and machine. Yeah. Okay, next, calculator. Yeah. So calculator is one of the good, interesting example to study. Yeah, because from the idea of calculator, they come up with computer. That's the origin of the computer. Yeah. Of course, you have been born in 1990s. Yeah. What year you are born? 1990?
1998.
1998. Okay. Basically, that's the idea of the calculator or the computer. Yeah. Start with a slide rule, more or less like this ruler. Let's have the number and so on. Actually, the slide rules is you can also look at the slide rule in Google. It's more or less something like this. You can slide to the right and to the left. The purpose of this mechanical technology or mechanical apparatus is to calculate. Yeah, the function, the main function is to calculate, more or less like sempua. Yeah. Maybe yes, I'm sure that Chinese have some exposure of using sempua for calculation. Also mechanical, you use finger and those small ball for calculation. And this slide rule, you have to move to the right or to the left for the additional or subtraction. So you will get the computation, yeah, the summation by using this slide rule. So here we can see the early calculator or slide rule used the mechanical technology, yeah, by moving or moving to the right or to the left, yeah, and then they improve. They come out with electronic calculator, just a simple one. You can add and you can subtract and get the summation. That was early basic electronic calculator. Yeah, the spelling error here, electronic. Yeah. And then they improve. They have a better. They add more function in this electronic calculator. Not only to calculate figure, but also you can also include function, more sophisticated or complicated calculation. So we have scientific calculator. For example, fx 560. You can have the statistical function in that calculator, fx 560, and then fx 600. Not only you can have statistical device, but also linear programming. Yeah, fx 600, you can tabulate the relationship, more or less like regression, correlation, all those linear programming between two dimension, yeah, x and y, x and y, or we call it that's scientific calculator. And then they come out a better one, fx 900, which you can compute not only 2 dimension but 3 dimension, x, y, z. For example, in production, normally, of course, in real life, you are not only have 2 variables. We have many variables. Yeah, in production, for example, you not only have one model, we have 3 model, for example, x, y, z. So to compute that figure and many other factors, you can use fx 900. Yeah. And after that, they think to, beside having a small calculator, scientific calculator, they come up with a bigger, they call it compute machine. They come up with mainframe. Yeah. The early purpose or function of mainframe is to compute figure. So many figure have come out. During my time, I still, for example, we want to run simulation. We use that mainframe to run or to compute figure simulation. So we predict something by using simulation. We run, and after 1 week, so we get the result. Yeah? And yeah, and after some time, they feel it's difficult to set compute machine. So they change the name computer, yeah? Computer. Instead of compute machine, they say computer. And that's the beginning, the idea of computer. And a few company comes in, they come up with PC, personal computer. And personal computer also have several generation. Until now, yeah, we have flat screen display of computer, including CPU, everything. Yeah. So that's we call technological change in technology. Yeah, which have occurred several decades, and yeah, from PC they come out with laptop, and laptop they come out with tablet. Now we can have a palm top, yeah, or smartphone, yeah, which also include all those PC function. Yeah. Okay. So here we can say that application diversification, yeah, or technological substitution from calculator, from electronic, and then to analog. 01 they come up with computer, and then computer keep on the same technology but has been applied in new product or new generations. Yeah. Yeah, previously we have mainframe, and then they come out with a smaller size PC, and then applied in um, laptop, palm top, and smartphone. Yeah, and in near future, yeah, there's already prediction or forecasting that uh, uh, yeah, in near future, uh, there's a bracelet, yeah, to replace smartphone. You just need to wear more or less like this watch, it's bracelet, and uh, you have external device, so you can see the display, and also you can hear as by using that external extension or device. Yeah, but the phone will replaced by bracelet. Yeah, and this technology uh, has been uh, made by or start up by uh, uh, Israel. Yeah, Israel has come up with the idea to replace phone with the bracelet. Okay. Um, Another example, camera. Yeah, camera is also one of interesting historical uh, product or innovation, which is very interesting for you if you want to study about the technological change. Yeah, with according to the history. Yeah, during my childhood, I still have the opportunity to see the old camera, the function one, yeah, the old camera that still function, yeah. Sometime in early of 1970, yeah, my father and mother at that time we want to cross the border to go to Siam, so we need a border pass. Yeah. So we have to take picture, and we went to a shop, and that shop still use the, we call it black spot camera. eh? Yeah, you can of course Google the old this old technology of camera. They use a black box camera, and of course in school we use to study science. We have that, we call it uh, what we call it, that's image, upside down image, yeah, which that black spot camera, simple theory or a simple concept of capture of the image, yeah. They use the light to capture the image, and this image Yeah, when I was in that photograph shop, they use uh, glass as the medium, and on this glass they have a kind of chemical solution, and this upside down image will be captured and stored on that glass uh, technology. Yeah. So, and then they transfer this glass with that chemical solution to the paper. That's why it's come out with black and white or gray color picture. That the early technology. Yeah, we call it still or moving, and then they um, improve into mechanical, yeah, camera, and then to electronic camera, yeah, Shika and so on. Yeah, when I was uh, first time, yeah, buying, yeah, when I was doing my bachelor degree, first time going to outside international, so to UK for my bachelor degree. So I bought a camera, and at that time already electronic, but the what we call it, the medium that they used at that time was film. We have Fuji film, we have Kodak color film. It's already colored, so uh, the picture has been transformed or captured and stored in the film, and then we use that film to print the picture on the paper. Uh, but then after some time, they have changed to digital. Yeah, the storage device has been changed, and that also the sad story to the Kodak and Fuji. Yeah, because Kodak, they still want to prolong their film industry or manufacturing of films. So it became obsolete, and of course, yeah, those company producing digital camera like Sony and many other company, uh, they uh, compete in the market. So this is another example of the impact of technological change, not only to the company, but also to the industry. Yeah? From steel moving to electronic and then to digital technology. And those companies which will not change due to the change of this technology, they were suffering. They cannot compete because uh, it's hard to market because people looking for now a better technology, better medium, and you can store your picture anywhere by using digital technology. Next, telephone. Yeah. Uh, from wired to wireless, from code to codeless, yeah, from mechanical to digital, and this is we call it reconceptualized. Yeah, as we can see, we have mobile phone now. It's actually reconceptualized from taxi phone. Yeah, taxi phone has long been in the market, long time ago. Since long time ago, taxi in London they use uh, like a radio phone. Yeah, like walkie-talkie. Yeah, they use radio technology. You know, more or less like walkie-talkie. You know, walkie-talkie used by military and also uh, for the children to play talking to each other using walkie-talkie. And taxi phone in London, at one time they used radio phone to communicate with the center and also with the other taxi. And then they reconceptualize the idea, and there exists mobile phone. Yeah, from car phone to mobile phone, and then improve or improvise from the big one. They come up with a better or smaller, more power. Yeah, among early generation of telephone or mobile phone is bigger than this size. This is my drinking water, bigger than this one. You can put on the table. However, the battery maybe lasts for 1 hour. After 1 hour, you have to recharge, and it takes time to recharge. To fully recharge, it takes time. Took times to fully recharge of that uh, early mobile phone, like an empty device, yeah, which was originally radio, or we call it car phone, yeah, for car phone or radio phone, which apply in car, and then they make it smaller. You can bring along, yeah, uh, yeah. During early 80s, only contractor they use that mobile phone to communicate with their workers on the top of the building and so on. Okay, and then better quality, such as input device have also changed. Previously, we just use uh, touch pad or key. We call touch tone or keypad, like what has been used by Nokia. And also at one time, uh, people use BlackBerry due to texting. Yeah, easier for you to text faster, yeah, because it's have A to Z alphabets. Yeah, much faster. But then now they have changed. Yeah, Samsung has introduced pen computing, yeah, touch pen, yeah, in their Samsung made or whatever product. Yeah, and after that we have not only pen computing, we have touch screen uh, technology. So you just touch the screen for the interface, input interface, and also voice recognition, yeah, has been introduced in smartphone, which make the texting, yeah, from Nokia and also um, BlackBerry has been obsolete. Yeah, instead of texting or typing, yeah, you can just use voice recognition in your phone. For example, I'm talking to you now. I can use voice interface in WhatsApp. Otherwise, I have to type, for example, a long description of something. I just saying and record and then send to you. That's voice recognition interface. Okay, so that's technological change, which change the functions, or we call it technical performance. Yes, were previously you have to use this texting or typing interface, but now you can use pen computing, just write down whatever you want to message, and also you can use your voice recognition device uh, for communication. Yeah, and many other micro examples. Money. Previously, yeah, people use, yeah, it's, at one time when I was in Europe, yeah, during my bachelor degree, people is at the top use credit card and then after some time they change due to credit card will charge you expensive fee, yeah, for the credit card. Yeah. Then we have debit card service, and nowadays we have PayPal or Alipay in China, in Hong Kong, um, compared to credit card or debit card. Yeah, much cheaper. For example, you are buying online, you go to 7-Eleven, much cheaper. Or you make a booking for hotel, so on, or you want to pay UTM something, much cheaper. The fee much cheaper. Yeah, for example, for hotel booking, if you want to use credit card or debit card, they will charge you more than 45 ringgit. Whereas for PayPal, only 7 ringgit. And that's for hotel booking. Yeah. And of course, if you use uh, a service provider, the hotel and travel service provider, maybe less. Yeah. Uh, Fee has been charged. Wallets, yeah. Yeah, we have e-wallets and so on. No need to have cash. And many other technological breakthrough, nylon, silicon, transistor, fiber optic, electromagnetic wave, and etc. Pharmaceutical as well. Yeah, we have uh, a few company producing antivirus. One of them, Asra. Asra is one of rich uh, pharmaceutical company in the world. They make lots of money. Yeah, just imagine they use only a small dosage. For example, like paracetamol. Yeah, paracetamol, which is quite common in Malaysia. Okay, only a small portion or dose of that drug has been included in that paracetamol, and they make lots of money. And in Malaysia, Pharma Niaga is one of the rich company. Uh, Never suffer of loss almost every day, every year. Yeah, Pharma Niaga. If you can see a Pharma Niaga report, yeah, they always uh, have a huge profitability. Even this year, in the first quarter, they already have profits. Yeah. Uh, okay. Uh, Take 5. Yeah, we have a short break. So if you want to drink, you want to have some food, then we come up with next. We will come to next slide about innovation and invention. In the meantime, I try to share you uh, some example from Google's. Okay, you can see now. This is the history of. You can write in Google, of course. There are a lot. The timelines we call it in the history or longitudinal study of the computer. The left one, the top left is the mainframe, and then they have PC here, and then a few generation of PC, as you can see here. Yeah. This is Macintosh. Yeah. Or maybe PC. Yeah. This is the history of of telephone. Yeah. As you can see here, 1914 candlestick rotary phone, and then 1920s desktop rotary, and then 1960s touchtone pad, 1970s wall touchtone technology. So keep on improving. You can also this is a few generation of cell phones, and this is BlackBerry, and then iPhone, and then Samsung Galaxy, or previous generation we can put here mobile phone. Yeah, this is a few generation of mobile phone in history or along the timelines. Yeah. Okay, this is one example of timeline. Victor's phone timeline, 19, 1998, 97, 98 till 2008. Yeah. And this is the history of camera or photography. You can browse camera or photography. Yeah. At the beginning of camera obscura, uh, 1021, yes, so early, obscura, using this box we call black box. And then they have this box until they have this one. Yeah. Konica release. Yeah. Those examples of micro technological change. Yeah. It's happened in the environment. So now we continue. Wait. Okay. Now we are going to talk about invention and innovation. Anybody in this class can tell me about what is meant by innovation, or what the difference between innovation and invention? Any idea? Anybody from this class?
Innovation maybe can be classified as knowledge.
Knowledge, okay. So what the difference between invention and invention? Innovation and invention. You said that innovation is knowledge, okay. So what is invention? Shafika.
Me, invention is something new that's belum create lagi, and innovation benda dah create and dia upgrade and to good, to be more macam handphone, like phone from dia make tekan-tekan and to digital.
Okay. Aniza, Anissa.
Anissa.
Yeah, Anissa. Who else want to share some of? Suppose you are in the third year of MOT, you should know how to distinguish or demarcation line between innovation and invention. Okay. As Anissa Izwanis said just now, invention is something new. Yeah, something new. And innovation, based on Anissa Izwanis mentioned just now, something improve or improvise. Is that what you meant, Anissa Izwanis?
That
More or less, something new for invention and innovation. Something improve or some improvement has been made. What already available? Okay, it's correct. However, by definition, I should make it clear for you, because you are in MOT, management of technology. You should know the difference or the demarcation line between invention and innovation. As I put here, both invention and innovation should proven have certain degree of newness. Yeah. Invention, of course, something new, absolutely new, and innovation also must prove a certain degree of newness. Otherwise, it's not considered as innovation. Yeah. However, innovation have another characteristic, which is commercial viable, or potentially it can be commercialized. Commercial viable meaning that it can be commercialized. You can make profit. You can create wealth from this technology or this product. Yeah. Both must proven newness as something new in that device. Okay. However, invention cannot apply patenting. You cannot patent for an invention. You can only apply for a patent for innovation. Yeah. If you send application, of course, it will not be granted or rejected due to invention. Yeah. Sometimes for the society development, also the patent office will not grant a device or technology or product be patented. So it's will considered as invention, meaning that it's still on development. Yeah. For example, like you come up with something new from gamat. Gamat. Of course, gamat has been used as a traditional medicine for a long time. Yeah, orang kampung and many other people, they use gamat. Yeah, but you cannot apply for patenting, though you are extract some some kind of gamma extraction. You nak letak, you want to put in gammaton or whatever product you want to put, tablet. The patent office will not grant you patenting. Why? Because it have potential for commercialize, but it's we call it society development, or the purpose of the development of the society. It's considered as invention. Whatever new knowledge you come out from gamma research, you have found something, application in new something, yeah, a new application. Let's say, yeah, for example, like lately, they some research has been done on black seed. Yeah, black seed is they said that it's a protection from COVID-19 virus. Yeah, or those not only protection, also it can cure, uh, but it cannot be considered as like uh, antivirus. For example, Astra, they can claim their antivirus and get patent for that, but not for from that black seed, because it's considered as invention. Yeah. Um, so here, invention, one thing you can understand, invention cannot be patented. Innovation, you can apply for patenting. And it's proven that degree of newness, they have some evidence, and then also some evidence of commercial viable, meaning that potentially you can commercialize. If you introduce in the market, there are a potential buyers of this innovation. So you have the opportunity to be granted the patent. Yeah. What is meant by patent? Meaning that you have the ownership. Yeah. Patenting is, we call it the ownership of uh, something that you cannot touch or you cannot see, you cannot taste. Yeah. Intangible asset. Yeah, they call it intangible asset. Tangible asset, like you have a house, car, or motorcycle, you can have that certificate showing that you are the owner of that car. We call it grant or certificate of ownership for that motorcycle or house or car. That's tangible asset. For those intangible asset, technology, basically technology is technical knowledge. When you want to apply patenting, you have to bind, you have to disclose almost all the technical knowledge into one folder. Yeah. For example, we have folder. Okay. I have a folder here, many folder here. So you bind or you disclose all the technical information in that folder, including technical drawing, the technical specification of that technology, the originate or the historical uh, aspect of that technology, the timeline of that technology, and so on. So you have to disclose, you have to include in that folder, and then you submit to the patent office. Yeah, international patent office in UK, in US, in Korea, Japan. They have a separate. You have, for example, if you want to have patenting in UK, so you have to send to have that application in UK. That what was done by many lecturer who have who want to have their patent. I have a friend from electronic uh, engineering. He has a product compatible to Pentium product. So he did apply and has been granted patent from UK, from US, from Japan, and also Korea. Showing that the innovation of that particular device have proven certain degree of newness and also commercial viable, meaning that if it has been applied in market, applied in a certain product and introduced in market, there will be buyers or users for that. So it can generate wealth. So that's the difference between invention and innovation. Is there any question so far regarding my? Yeah.
I have question. If something we do macam kajian from university, so usually the one that kajian ask to do patent tu siapa yang dapat, doktor?
Okay. There are several stages of kajian or research. What has been done in university? Many lecturers they involve, or students involved in basic research, which the output almost reports. You can be the owner of the report. For example, you are doing kajian on something, even on product, but or yet basic research, just technical knowledge, we call it. Biomedic student, they come up with something. Biomedic based on bio or something come up. Or bioengineering, they come up with machine for medical purpose. It can be categorized under applied research. You are the owner of that applied research or technical knowledge, that technical knowledge. Under we call it intellectual property, there are several categories. Patent is one of the ownership, but it's purposely for technology, but not for just technical knowledge, applied technical knowledge. There are copyright, for example. Copyright, you can apply copyright if you have, for example, one module, one module and or one technique of doing research based on your previous research, you come up with, you can apply for copyright, which if others want to use or want to apply your techniques, they have to apply permission, because they cannot simply put under their name, because you have that copyright. A few of lecturers in our faculty, law lecturers, for example, they have that copyright because they know you will learn more in this subject about copyright and so on. And beside copyright, there's also trade secret or trade marks. For example, like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola never patent their product. They keep secret their receipt of the, and one of the main competitor, Pepsi Cola, has tried so long. There is history between Pepsi Cola and Coca-Cola. They want to imitate, to make their cola as good as Coca-Cola. But Coca-Cola never share the information. They never disclose. Why? as I told you just now about patenting, if you want to patent, you have to disclose. You have to include all those technical information like ingredient, everything in that, and then you submit to patent office. After 20 years time, it's become open secret. Yeah? People will know. You can access that patent. Yeah. More or less like apa tu? SpongeBob and siapa nama tu yang kecil tu? Aduh. Plankton. Plankton trying to get the secret receipt of Krabby Patty. Yeah. So Mr. Crab keep his secret in that bottle. So cook and now the value of that trade secret, of course, they have to register, is now billion. The highest price of trade secret is now the Coke, the Coca-Cola, the original Coke. Many other company, even in Malaysia, we have. If you go to, for example, Tesco, Tesco Cola, and many other, but the taste is not as good as Coca-Cola. Even Pepsi Cola trying so many times to make their cola compatible as Coca-Cola. Do I answer your question?
Yes, Doctor. Saya faham. I understand. Thank you.
So, different level of research output, some of them publication. Yeah, of course, nowadays, that's why we call it plagiarism. Publication is one of the outputs of the research or basic research. You cannot simply put something in your writing, for example, your PSM, without quoting the name of the owner or the publisher. And that's why when you are writing your PSM, your project, you have to mention where you get this quotation, where you got this quotation, the writer, and you have to mention his name, the publisher, and so on, because it's published. We call it academic publication, in conference, in journal, articles, journals, and so on. Okay, we continue. Okay, next, newness. What is newness? Change. That's what's we are studying now. Technological change, meaning that some newness, some change in terms of technology. So the technology has changed. Yeah. Okay. And this is the diagram showing many to many relationship. Yeah. Okay. There are several types of invention and innovation, such as product innovation, product invention, process invention, process innovation, product invention or innovation like mobile phone, process such as drive-through in McDonald's, KFC. Previously, you have to enter the cafe or McDonald's restaurant to buy, but then they have they make it easier. It's also innovation. Drive-through even now has been applied in post office and also many other places. That also we can also say it's a service. Parking. Okay, parking is another. We have car park, the building in the building, so we can see whether there's a space available how many space available for parking. Even we are at the entrance, we can see floor 1 is not empty, meaning that's no vacants. It's fully occupied. Maybe you have to go to floor 3, floor 4, and so on. Yeah. So they have automated service system, many system. So this is examples of innovation or invention as well. Another way of classification or how we can categorize invention and innovation is through the pace of the process. Yeah? The speed of the process of making change, making the newness. So there are several types of pace of the process. However, I just want to mention here incremental and radical as an example for you. There are many types of innovation you should cover. When you are, there's another subject about innovation. Today's lecture is just part of that because it's part of technological forecasting. So I have to brief you the change and the process of change because you want to predict of that change in the future. Okay. And about this type and so on, the classification you have to learn. Do you already take the innovation subject? If I'm not mistaken, Dr. Omar or Dr. Aslan.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay.
Saya lepas.
Okay.
Dr. Aslan.
Dr. Aslan.
Yes.
Okay. It can be incremental invention or innovation and also radical. The difference between incremental and radical, incremental meaning that it's slow pace, step by step. And radical change or radical innovation or invention meaning that it's have huge impact, not only to the product or to the technology itself, but also to the industry. That's why it's radical. It have a huge impact or huge effect. Okay. And also the pricing as well. That's why some people say low tech, low end, meaning that that technology have a low technological change, just a minimal change or marginal change, a small change. And the effect or also the impact, low end, the contribution also not much. Yeah. For example, I saw a few student innovative product in all student in UTM. They have to take entrepreneurship, introduction to entrepreneurship, and some of them come out with innovative product, some incremental or marginal change, but many of them they just they come out with an innovative product. Of course, some change in terms of technology improvement, but low end, meaning that low application, low return, low economic return. Yeah. Some improvement, for example, they come out with there are so many examples made by a student in introduction of entrepreneurship. Yeah, because I one of the panel of SAM. We have sustainable competition, something of the product. So I saw so many people, they have improvement in terms of technology, but low ends or low application, meaning that it's generate low profitability. Yeah, that's incremental. Yeah. Of course, normally uh, this technological change or newness has contributed something, makes things easy or simplify things. Yeah. For example, any student come up with thermo heat Tupperware or something, or this uh, uh, or the for drinking, we use for drinking, so they come out with better one. But how much you can gain profitability? Maybe 1 ringgit extra or 2 ringgit, or might be people will buy the old product. I do not know. I guess that's my question to when they have that competition. I ask the student how much money you will get by introducing this type of improvement in the, of course it's innovative. We appreciate that innovation. Yeah, but when it's question to return or that's we call it low end. Yeah, but most probably people, the customer or the user will buy the old one. Yeah. It's not nothing much. That's what's happening to incremental. It's not only slow pace, but also in many cases it's have a low end or low contribution compared to radical innovation or invention. Normally, it's have a huge impact or big impact. Okay, let me show you something else. Now I'm looking. I've include in your e-learning. There's a copy of books, chapter 1, 2, 3. So you can get all those example actually come from that books. The first chapter was written by me several years ago. If, for example, you do not really, you can't follow my lecture just now, you can read from the books. I'm searching. Okay. Still searching the sources of the book. Not this one. Okay, this is the book. I'm sharing with you the book. This book was written a few years ago for management of technology subject. Just actually, all the examples I give you in this technological change come from this book. This chapter was written by me a few years ago, so I share with you. What I'm going to show you now, this is radical change, examples of radical change. Can you see the table? Okay. From the history, there's a very good examples for you to understand the radical change. Yeah, as you can see here, in 1955, yeah, RCA is an American company, is at the top. Or before that, before 1955, RCA is a American company, always at the top of the electronic company. Yeah. And then 1995 as well, Motorola come in. And for that, RCA was the producer of vacuum tube. Yeah, previously, all electronic product use vacuum tube as the, call it, electrical change. Yeah. To transfer or to transform from, for example, electronic energy into sound energy. Yeah, from electric to come up with sound. In radio, for example, in radiogram, in turntable, they want to transform from electric energy into sound energy. So they use vacuum tubes. And RCA was the producer of, or the manufacturer of these vacuum tubes. However, in 1995, Motorola comes in with transistor. And then 1960, Motorola come in with semiconductor. RCA still exists. Yeah. And 1965, 10 years later, yeah, after the emergence of Motorola, okay, Motorola have a better market position. In terms of market share, Motorola number 4 compared to TI, Fairchild, and General Electric. Sorry. And then 1970, Motorola number 2 compared to Texas Instruments. Texas Instruments was the first company which invest for mobile telephone. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a sad story, though they were the first company invest and work on mobile phone, but the success belonged to Nokia. And then the design engineer in Nokia called Motorola Texas Instrument engineer, and they asked why, how you make it feasible, how you make your mobile phone work due to battery technology. Because of battery technology, they have worked, spend money, lots of money, but success belong to or the feasibility. Nokia managed to make it feasible because they have a battery technology. And then 1982, Motorola was at the top until now. That's to show you the impact of technological change. Yeah. Motorola introduced transistor, semiconductor, IC, LCI, VLCI, all these electronic device, replacing vacuum tubes. And what's happened now? RCA no more exists. Yeah. Okay, that's we call it radical change. The change not only affect the technology and product, but also its affect the industry. And nowadays, if to make it simple, for example, you can open the what we call TV controller or aircon controller, remote control. Yeah, you can open, you can see there's inside of this controller or control or any electronic device nowadays, they use IC, diode, capacitor. Yeah, and this was started by Motorola, Texas Instrument, and then now Motorola and also Texas Instrument come out with microchip. Yeah, from this IC, diode, capacitor, or we call it integrated circuit. IC for integrated circuit. They come out with a chip, and then a much smaller, we call it microchip, with different application. They can attach to the heartbeat. There's one electronic device, a small one, which use microchip to support the pumping of blood into the vessel of the heart and so on. So they use this microchip in that heart plant or some biology application. What I'm telling you, the impact or the effect of this change is huge. Not only, that's why we call it it's radical change, because it's not only change the product or the way people make. And nowadays, all the competitors in electrical electronic, Sony, Samsung, or all those Chinese names, Oppo or Lenovo from India, yeah, all the competitors in electrical electronic product, Philips, for example, from Europe, they are using this technology. So it's become generic technology. Yeah. Starting with very radical change or radical implementation or introduction. Yeah, they change the industry. Yeah, they change the no need to compete among the because it become generic now. Okay, let me. That's why it's called radical change or radical innovation. Okay, this is vacuum tube. What it's look like, yeah, and now it's became obsolete. Yeah, one of my friend working in Bosch, he said that they are still using this vacuum tube technology in Blaupang. amplifier, because they said vacuum tube is good compared to other electronic device or technology in transform from electrical energy into sound energy. So they said Blaupang speaker or Blaupang equalizer have a better sound system due to um, this vacuum tube technology. So yeah, during my time, I have the opportunity to see this vacuum tube in one of the old radio. We have a radio at home, old one. The problem with that radio is there are so many, we call it, what we call it, the place where you have to dock this vacuum tube. And this vacuum tube, as you can see here, it can easily, it have cathode inside, but this cathode can easily burn. And it's difficult to get replacement. Limited supply at that time. And if any one of this vacuum tube inside one radio, it consists of several place to dock this vacuum tube, and if one burn, so it's not connected, and the whole radio did not function. So that's what's happened. Not only in that radio, the old TV, for example, from Grundig, the old radiogram or music box. Some of music box also use this vacuum tube. The problem once it's got burned, the whole machine did not work. So it's not easy to get replacement or substitutions. And after some time, it became obsolete, meaning that's out of the market. Yeah, people not use it anymore. And then Motorola, Texas Instrument come in with transistor. Okay, you can see this device, electronic device inside most of the electrical or electronic product. Yeah. Capacitor or transformer. Yeah, more or less. You can see this in the remote control. And also integrated circuit. Yeah. Okay. And of course, they keep on improving, and they come out with a better technology. We call it incremental. So that's the difference between incremental innovation and radical innovation. And sometimes also radical innovation, also called breakthrough. Yeah? Breakthrough meaning that it's changed not only industry, but it's have a huge impact. Yeah? Example of breakthrough, as I told you before, this nylon. In this example, I put here nylon, silicone. Previously, for the textile industry, people use wool. wool from wool or wool from sheep, wool from the plantation, and also wool from sheep, and also silk. Silk is considered till now is considered as expensive material. Also, wool from sheep and expensive. And in Industrial Revolution, IR1, the first Industrial Revolution, was happened in Europe, especially in France. Yeah? Now they call it Industrial Revolution number 4. The first one, they call Industrial Revolution, meaning change, huge change in industry. And this Industrial Revolution was contributed by textile industry, the emergence of textile industry in Europe. Why? Because they have good market of because most royal and elite people in Europe, they would like to have well attire, well dressing, well clothes. So the demand for textile is huge at that time. So many new industry emerge in Europe. It's become industrial revolution. Yeah, in textile industry, especially in France and UK. Not only industry, but many city in Europe will emerge due to the emergence of textile industry. I was study in Leicester University. Yeah, that university, Leicester, now names they changed to the Mumford U. Situated in the abundance of huge textile industry. Why abundance? Because material change. According to the history, the city was emerged due to textile industry. When they built up, they established manufacturing of textile, many people from other places come to work in this textile industry or textile manufacturing. Also, when I went for my PhD study in Enschede, this city as well, Enschede is in the Netherlands, was established due to textile industry. People come to work, more or less like we have Taman University. Before this, when the first time I arrived in UTM here in 1963, there was only Taman Tun Aminah, and yes, Desa Skudai is just new developed at that time. But then they developed uh, uh, Taman University, a huge living area attached to UTM, which was previously UTM situated in Kuala Lumpur. They transit here, and in 1993, I was here attached to UTM, and yeah, we can see now the development of the cities and the area inhabitants and so on. So it's happened to the Industrial Revolution number 1. Many cities were developed due to textile industry. But then what's happened, they found nylon as new materials to replace using of wools and silk. Nylon is much more cheaper compared to silks and wool, and so it's changed. Yeah, it's changed. Not only the product, the material of the product, but it's changed the industry. Yeah, many textile industry in Europe has been closed due to the breakthrough of nylon, because they cannot operate. Nylon use different technology for producing, for manufacturing. So now we can see Korea is at the top in textile producer or manufacturers. Yeah, For example, jackals, not only container but ship. Yeah, they transport two ship to Port Klang. Yeah, for those textile for jackals. Why? Because from Korea. Yeah, the main producer. Mass production is another industrial revolution. Industrial revolution number 3. Yeah, we still have some more time. Yeah, just another example of industrial revolution or breakthrough. Start with for this paradigm. Yeah, Ford as the manufacturer of car. Yeah, previously Ford worked with General Motors, and for a few decades, General Motors keep on suing. Ford have to go to the court, yeah, for several decades because General Motors sue that caught copying their technology in car company, car manufacturer. However, after some time, after a few decades, Ford win the case. Why? Due to the contribution of Ford, because changes that Ford has contributed. The change or the breakthrough has been made not only to the car making process, but to the society as well. Okay, when Ford quit from General Motors, he start making his own car, and he start studying how to make it fast, how to make it more, to supply more to the market. So he start the mass production. Yeah, according to the story, the history, he went to the butcher and he looked at the stages process of meat by the butcher, from the slaughtering and then how they cut the meat and so on, and then till they serve the meat to the customer. So Ford was the first person who split the process of making car into many what we call it design. Of course, you want to make car. Yeah. Previously, they have one station, and they built the car from the beginning till the end, till complete of one car. However, start want to expedite the process of making car, so he made a few stages to build the car. So he start with the drawing, the technical drawing. He is the first who start the technical drawing of the process of making the car. Okay, first stage, okay, one drawing. Second stage till the finish. So he split the process and he can expedite the process of the car. And then not only that, he also established Detroit city of car manufacturing. Yeah, in Michigan. Like here we have Proton City, and many people came not only from southern US but also from Europe to work with Ford. And since many car can be produced, he have a better market of the car. Many people, especially the T model of car, Ford car, and then because of having a huge market share not only in US but also in Europe. So he also offer a better salary to the worker. Yeah, previously the ordinary or normal salary for manufacturing worker $1 something. Yeah, he increased to $2.80. Yeah, per hour. So the living standard of the purchasing power of the worker has been increased, and he also lowering the price of Ford car. Yeah, from 800 something by General Motor US dollar to 400 something. So almost half. Because of the purchasing power increase and the lowering of the price of the car, the uh, uh, the worker of the Ford also able to buy Ford car. Whereas previously, before that, Ford car only targeted for rich people or wealthy people who only capable Ford car or any other types of car. However, after lowering the price of the car and also increasing the purchasing power of the worker, they can buy. And it's create middle class society of the American. Before that, there's only two level of society: rich people, wealthy people, and poor people who are ordinary worker. And then because of Ford, the impact, they have come up with middle class society who can afford to buy car as well and have a better living standard compared to the poor society. So that's for this paradigm, or we call it third industrial revolution. And many other industry or business also copying the stages of mass production by Ford. Okay, we stop here. Inshallah, this coming Wednesday, we talk about disruptive. You can browse about Ford. You can browse all those example available in on Google. So you, if you want to know more, you can also read those books. Actually, it's a book. Also in a learning in a learning. Yeah. And textbooks, yeah, and also notes. Inshallah, coming, please remind me. I'll going to talk disruptive. You can start browsing disruptive, and also you have to read about the group project phase 1. Assuming that all of you already have group 2 to 5 members, you have to establish group and read the instruction. If there are any question, you can ask in WhatsApp group. Inshallah, we meet again Wednesday. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Attendance I will put on in WhatsApp group.
Waalaikumsalam. See you there.
Doktor, Doktor, saya nak tanya boleh?
Are you want, if you want to have, you don't have class, you can ask me anything.
Okay. Kalau nak tanya pasal individual.
Yes, ya, boleh tanya.
Struktur tu kan boleh tak kalau buat point? Means like kan setiap teknik doktor suruh letak description dengan how to use that teknik kan. Tapi
Ya.
saya buat macam teknik tu then bawah dia punya description, lepas tu perenggan description, then point baru how to do it tu dia punya explanation lah. Saya tak buat yang teknik tu satu explanation dalam satu perenggan semua tu. Saya tak buat macam tu. Kalau buat point boleh?
Boleh.
Boleh.
Tak
Okay.
perlu panjang-panjang lah ya. Tak perlu panjang-panjang. Yang penting saya tujuan saya bagi assignment tu, universal assignment, at least student get some idea lah about those techniques. Bila saya cerita nanti taklah you macam satu benda baru lah, totally new. Ya. Supaya you dah ada macam tahulah sikit-sikit. Ya. Macam mana nak tahu sikit-sikit, paling kurang you kena get some information lah. Dan sekarang ni yang paling mudah ialah online lah. Ya. Based on, kalau you tak buat sesuatu, you dengar saya cerita pun boleh jadi bosan lah. Ya.
Okay, doktor faham.
Okay.
Okay,
It can be point form pun boleh. Ya, point form. Kalau nak buat ayat panjang-panjang nanti jadi berjela-jela pula ya. Ringkas-ringkas sudah. Ya, tu tujuan saya masukkan paling kurang you dapatlah ya maklumat tentang teknik-teknik itu, apakah advantage dia, disadvantage dia, macam mana nak buat benda tu, paling kurang you get some idea. Okey, ada soalan lain lagi?
Itu je doktor. Terima kasih doktor.
Ya, sama. Sorry lah bila bercerita ni saya kuliah saya macam tu. Kadang nak refer apa PowerPoint note semua nak cerita satu-satu jadi panjang. Ya, bila bercerita ni memang seronok.